Hey, so I wanted you guys' opinion on something. So I see a lot of stuff on the news about homeless people and how bad it is, and that they destroy cities and whatnot. And now I get that there are some places where people are on drugs and they're doing it in the streets and they're living, shooting up on, but that's not everyday homeless people. That's, certain cities, and especially big cities. Besides that, there's like say, for instance, me. I'm 42 years old. I was running my own company up to a year and a half ago. I went through a bad relationship part, and that kind of screwed me up for a little bit. And then I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and I've been struggling. And I haven't figured out exactly how I want to do it. How I'm going to figure my life out. And I'm a good person, but I'm a good person. Like I don't sit there and do drugs. I don't sit there and go out drinking. I don't beg, on the corner with a sign for money. I try to build my company that I'm building right now, and because I want to earn what I do in life, and it's just really sad that like people judge so easily, and it makes you almost think everybody judges, because there's some people who don't judge at all, but you're thinking automatically in your mind that society has made me look like this horrible person, so maybe I am, but I know I'm not. I know that I have a lot to offer. I know that I'm a good worker. I know that I have a strong work ethic. I know that I can pretty much do anything I put my mind to. I just got to do it. And I was given a bad hand in life. I've always been around. Whenever something goes wrong, I leave the situation because I don't want to deal with it. And it shouldn't be that way. Not talking about like relationships or just life in general. Like I don't know how to deal with breakups. I don't know how to deal with rejection. I'm not good at it. I get, like I want to be happy. I want to build my life. I want to get a piece of land. I want to find a nice person to settle down with. I want a family. I want to, not necessarily because I'm getting older now, but you know what I mean. Like just that, like, I wake up, I go to work, I come home to, the person I want to be with, and to just spend my life and go out and enjoy life for once. Like I said, I ain't getting no younger, but there's such a big stereotype on these people, and it's like, they're just stupid, because there's more good people out there than there are bad people out there. If not, we'd live in a third world society, and there are bad people out there, but it's just we've got to do more. The reason why there's so much homeless people right now is because so you have a general rule to have a household. You should be able your rent should be no more than 1/3 of your income. So average place here in Brunswick, $1,500 a month for a 1-bedroom. That's average. There are some lower, there are some higher. And so that means you're going to make $4,500 a month, which is the equivalent to like $35 an hour. Who is paying $35 unless you're working for yourself? That's why I have to work. People say, why don't you just go get a regular job and do all that? It's a lot easier. It's steady. Because I can't afford to get a regular job. Because I'll be stuck here. I need to do my stuff so I can make the appropriate amount of money to actually get out of this situation. It's harder. It's more stressful because you don't know where your next job's coming from. But as long as I work hard and I keep up a good work ethic, it'll, that'll do its own. I've ran a business for 8 years successfully, and I did very, very well until I fell in love and let my mind go crazy. And it is what it is. I take responsibility for my parts, for my behavior, my actions, and I know that I'm a good man, and I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna do right with it, and I'm gonna make my life better. But I want to know, like, does everybody feel like, like, what do you honestly feel about it? If you see a homeless person not looking like they're doing drugs, not looking like they're drunk, what do you think about them? Do you feel bad for them? Do you talk to them? Do you help? Just saying hi to somebody just because just makes life so much nice, because it's stressful being being homeless. It's you're alone. You don't really have anybody that cares for you, because you're in the situation. Nobody's sitting here checking on me every day saying, hey, how you doing? How you holding up? But I don't need that. That's I'm not putting anybody down or nothing. I'm just saying it's very lonely. I sit here every day in my car, and I just want to talk to somebody. I want to be able to enjoy my life and not feel like I'm some outcast in some place. And I've isolated myself for a long time because of it. And maybe it's damaging, maybe it's not, I don't know, but I'm afraid to put myself out there now. It's like people, like another thing, like people think I've done drugs because I have no teeth. No, I was on Advair since I was 17, 18. I started taking that, and it says right on the description, if you don't rinse it out, that's what it does to your teeth. And then you even talk to dentists about it and all that. And I had to have them removed because it killed my teeth. I never read that. Nobody, who reads the paperwork on their prescription? They just take it. It says take 2 times a day. You take it 2 times a day. Now I'm gonna get implants and all that stuff. I'm working really hard on that. But still, it's like, I don't want to be judged. I don't want to judge other people, but, and it doesn't mean you have to be, I don't know. I just want to be treated like a person. And I want other people to you. What do you think? Like, seriously, what do you think about a homeless person? Would you be friends with somebody just because they're homeless? Would you date somebody just if they were homeless? If they were trying and being hard, working hard and being, fixing their life. I'm not not everybody is the same, and there are bad people out there, like I said. But what is your thoughts? Just tell me.